Hi everyone, welcome to this video in a series of videos on the signaling and dispatching system of the SLS Railroad. This video is going to cover the West Bear River / Woodruff Traffic Panel. This video is being conducted on a computer that is running Windows 7 and is not connected to the SLS Railroad. Therefore, I'm going to have to simulate block occupancy by clicking on some of the block detectors on panel, which we normally don't use during a session, and simulate the Ogden dispatcher by using the lever here and the code button down here. With that in mind, let's go over the West Bear River / Woodruff Traffic Panel. On the panel, you will notice at Randolph, West Bear River, New Main, and Old Main we have block detectors. In addition, New Main and Old Main also flash when a route from West Sage is lined onto either New Main or Old Main respectively. We have signal indicators, and they simply just show the aspect of the signal at that given location. Next, we have the repeater indicators that show what the Ogden dispatcher sees on his actual hardware panel, as well as this is the lever which represents what the Ogden dispatcher has his lever set to. Next, we have the turnout control for the West Bear River switch. This switch is simply controlled by changing its correspondence here on the lever and pushing the button. Note that it is interlocked with the signals and with occupancy, so if there's an occupancy or any of the signals is set to anything other than red or stop, it will not throw. Next, we have the Sage dispatcher controls and indicators. These show indications of route status and allow the Sage dispatcher to set his portion of control through the Randolph single track main. The premise of the panel is that both dispatchers have control of routes cleared through the Randolph single track. To clear a route, which I'll show you, each dispatcher traffic lever must correspond with the other dispatcher lever. For instance, for an eastbound route, the Ogden dispatcher, which is the staging operator, and the Sage dispatcher, which is the dispatcher in front of the computer, must both set their levers to the right, and then either can code the button to clear the route. The same would apply to a westbound route. The position of the West Bear River turnout is integral with the westbound route, so in addition, the turnout must be aligned accordingly prior to westbound route being cleared. You will notice that as SLS Sage dispatcher operates his traffic lever, that we have a change in indication color here for the Ogden dispatcher. These lights exist as LEDs out on the Ogden dispatcher's control panel at staging so that he can see the way the SLS Sage dispatcher has his lever set. A route may be canceled if it is incorrectly cleared through the Randolph single track block. Let's suppose that I have a westbound route cleared and I am the SLS Sage dispatcher. In that case, the Ogden dispatcher would line his lever to the left and I would code the button. Let's say, for instance, that I realized that I really didn't have a train that is going to be taking the signal at West Bear River anytime soon, and I need to drop that route. I just need to simply put my lever to the center and push the button. I will go into a 10-second time penalty in which the light on the panel will flash red, and after 10 seconds, green clear route light will extinguish and all of my signals will again set back to red. It's important to note that only the dispatcher that's handing the traffic off in the direction of the route cleared can cancel the signal. In the case that I just showed you, it was the SLS Sage dispatcher who was handing off to the Ogden dispatcher, therefore it was only the SLS Sage dispatcher who could cancel the route. In the case of an eastbound route, the Ogden dispatcher would be the only one who could cancel the route, and in that case, the Ogden dispatcher would set his lever to center and cancel the route. A buzzer was recently added for each dispatcher to alert the other dispatcher when their corresponding lever needed to be set to the desired direction. The indicators serve a useful purpose along with the buzzer, such that if I am the SLS Sage dispatcher and I have my lever set to the left and I want to clear a westbound route, the Ogden dispatcher can quickly look at his lights, seeing that I have my lever set to the left, he can set his accordingly, and then I can code the route and clear a route westbound. this can be done without having to initiate any verbal communication. The same can apply for an eastbound route in which the Ogden dispatcher will set his lever to the right. I will see that on my panel, and he will buzz me, and then I will line my lever to the right as well. Then we can code our buttons, and we can have a eastbound route out of Woodruff onto the Randolph single-track main. Eliminates any type of verbal communication so that each dispatcher can then concentrate more on what they're doing, and less communication on the radio means less confusion. The question arises sometimes, how does the SLSH dispatcher know the Ogden dispatcher is ready for a train into the Randolph single-track block? The very nature that the Ogden dispatcher has his lever set to the west is acknowledgement that he is ready for a westbound movement into Randolph. If he is not, then he needs to set his lever to center to prohibit any further routing westbound into the Randolph block. Likewise, for the SLSH dispatcher, the Ogden dispatcher can see whether or not the SH dispatcher is ready for an eastbound route. The custom is one short buzz for a lever change request and a series of buzzes if verbal communication is required for any other type of issue or circumstance. The last thing I'd like to talk about is the signal at Westbury River eastbound onto Old Main or New Main. This signal is set from the main dispatcher's panel here, but the turnout is set from the Westbury River / Woodruff Traffic Panel. It's important to note that if you have a westbound route set on the Westbury River / Woodruff Traffic Panel and you line a route eastbound on this signal, it will cancel your route through the Randolph single track and will cause a route to be cleared from Westbury River eastbound through Old Main or New Main, depending upon how you have the turnout set. Otherwise, there's not a lot you need to know. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. We'll be happy to help you. Otherwise, we thank you for watching and have a nice day.